Mobile police officer Chad Wynn, who was wounded in a shootout with a robbery suspect Friday night, continues to improve. He remains in critical condition at the USA Medical Center, recovering from a gunshot wound to the chest. News 5's Blake Brown was the first reporter on the scene Friday night. He spoke to neighbors living nearby today.
Macy Place looks much different today than it did on Friday night.
A very unnerving experience. It was something I had never been this close to before.
This lady, still worried about the possibility of a third suspect on the run, wanted us to hide her identity. She says from where she lives, she could hear officers talking with the suspects who were inside the store.
Telling, to get up your hands, to come out.
At that point, she says she turned to News 5 to find out what was happening just a few feet away from her home.
I thought, go to your computer, and that's when I found out that an officer had been shot.
A few houses down on Macy Street, D.D. Sutton was at home during the standoff. He says he heard several shots fired.
Being rapidly fired. Sound like it's from a large handgun, semi-automatic.
He feels protected where he lives, even though his house is just feet away from the grocery store's back door, a door that was surrounded by officers with their guns drawn for over 3 hours during the standoff. Neighbors say this wall is a barrier between the parking lot and where they live, and this wall provides them with a little bit more security.
If it wasn't for that brick wall, I think we'd have been up in arms.
But even with an 8-foot wall separating the store and his home, at a moment's notice, things could have ended a different way.
When bullets are fired that rapidly, there's no way of knowing which direction they're going in.
One neighbor tells me off camera she saw a man running from Winn-Dixie down Macy Place after those shots were fired. Mobile police say they are not ruling out a third suspect. Live in the newsroom, Blake Brown, News 5.
Thanks, Blake. We're learning more about the officer injured during that standoff. When Chad Wynn isn't patrolling the streets of Mobile, he also provides off-duty security to a local restaurant. News 5's Avery Cotton has the story.
Everybody was just shocked and then all just couldn't believe it.
Jason Sproles is the manager at Buffalo Wild